Okay, so it is September, which is also known as the most glorious time of the year, or in other words, Drag Week month. But for those of you who may not know Drag Week as a full year of preparation and your whole life revolving around it, as bad as that sounds, I wanted to give a background for those of you that know Drag Week as Drag Week, what it's intended to be. One, a background on what Drag Week is. Two, how much preparation that goes into it. Three, kind of why people do it. And four, what to look for this year. So, by the time you see this, it's going to be the first day of Drag Week, but right now we are about to leave for Drag Week. So sometimes the people that are most involved in Drag Week kind of forget to explain what this crazy event is for those that may not know. We just assume. For me, I've been doing Drag Week now for, this will be my 6th Drag Week. I started in 2013, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, yeah, 6th Drag Week. I always get confused on the years. So this will be my 6th Drag Week, so I forget to explain sometimes what Drag Week is. Drag Week is put on by Hot Rod Magazine, and it is a week-long endurance race where it's literally a test of man and machine. As David Freiberger likes to say, it is the biggest collection of cars that weren't running 24 hours prior to the event. Luckily mine's not one of those this year, but there are so many cars that are. So Drag Week, you show up to a track. This year, for example, the first track is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. And you go through Tech Day, and they make sure your car is truly a street car. Street legal, you have to have horns, lights, registrations, licenses, plates, you know, all of the stuff that classifies a street car. You go through Tech, and if you're lucky, you get a couple passes that day. But then Monday is when just all chaos breaks loose. So this year, there's going to be 400 plus cars. So you show up to the track early in the morning, and your goal is to get passes and get out. That never happens for most people, especially us, but one and done, you know, it's a good theory. So you go in to the host track, essentially, and you make a pass. They separate it by class cars and, I think they call it Street Eliminator now or something like that, where it's, they're not a class car. And you make a pass, you load up, and then you drive 200 to 300 miles to the next track. And you do this for 5 days in a row. So you visit a total of 4 tracks. You race for 5 days straight, and usually you're doing 1,200 plus miles. So you're literally pushing yourself and your car. It's a test of the builder, it's a test of the driver, it's a test of everything that is a part of the event, because you're truly pushing stuff to the limit, both on the street and on the track. So elaborating a little bit more in detail what the event actually entails, because you don't get to see all the time some of the behind the scenes. So there's a couple things I want to address first of all. So Drag Week, you literally are your own support vehicle. You cannot have any outside trucks following, you can't have people along the route waiting for you. You've got to be self-sufficient. Anything that you're going to use on your car has got to be in the car. Of course you can go make purchases, but it can't be like planned purchases. There are people on the route. You get an instructions sheet, and it tells you turn by turn where to turn. You have checkpoints, you have to take pictures, and you have to turn those pictures in at the next day when you turn in your time slip. If you don't have the pictures, you're disqualified. You're proving that you were on the route because they designed the routes where it is a test of your car. You're not just cruising on the highway or something. You are going through little towns, and it's really a fun time, the drive is. So first of all, that's one aspect of it. It's a planned out drive. Second of all, Drag Week is not a typical drag race. Drag Week, you're racing against the clock. So on Drag Week, you see lots and lots of cars where they don't really pay attention to the tree. I know I always have people comment on my post like, oh, with those kind of reaction times, you're never going to win or something, you know, when literally my reaction time may be like 9 seconds, so duh. But Drag Week, you're racing the clock. So essentially you have people sitting there building booths because they are literally just looking for the best time that they can get, whether it be sitting at the tree for 15 seconds or whatever. It's not a true drag race. You're racing clock to prove how fast your street car is. So you've got those two aspects. You have a truly streetable test as well as a time. And those go together. They play hand in hand. Okay, so recap real quick before we move forward on what Drag Week is. 5 days of racing, a test of man and machine, and 1,200 plus miles. When I say self-sufficient, also clarification on that, you can have your passenger, 2 passengers, but they have to be in the car with you, and those are the people that get to touch the car and work on the car. No one else at the track. Oh, also there's a thing called impound. So if they suspect you of cheating, they can throw you an impound. They like have hawk eyes on you, and if you cheat, they will know and you will be disqualified. So pause, enough about drag week for just a second, a fun fact break. So, as some of you may know, this is Dad's car. Some may know it as the Retro Nova, but I like to call it the Slova, because he goes slow, slower than me. Mainly because it didn't move for 2 years in the shop, but now that it's together, I know that I can't use it much longer, because he's going to beat me. Dad. But right now, if you guys need a nickname for Dad, just call it the Slova. Tell him I sent ya. So drag week does not happen at the same place every year. They announce early in the year where the tracks are. Last year we were in like more towards the Midwest, and then this year we're going to be more towards the East Coast. So tracks vary year to year. Sometimes we see repeat tracks, but it's never this. It's not been the same route, really, since I've been doing it. That's different every year, but as you guys can tell, this event is truly kind of crazy. It's almost like, I like to call it like a torture week almost, because you might run on like 5 hours of sleep. That's not the goal this year. Hopefully we're going to go and like make it through smooth sailing. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, because that never happens. But, so you may ask, why would people do this? Why would people spend tons of money and put themselves through torture, essentially? But it's because it's fun torture. Like, it's addicting. Like, you go and you're halfway through the week and you're like, oh, is this ever going to end? Like, I need sleep. And then Friday comes and it's like, oh man, all right guys, 365 more days and we will be coming back here. So it's literally a countdown. Drag week is all about the camaraderie. That's one of the coolest things about the event itself. There's an award called Spirit of Drag Week, and it's the most prestigious award. Oh, and don't let me mention, we do this for no money. You don't win money. The most you might win is a jacket if you're lucky, but it says your name, so everybody wants one, you know? So that's all you win out of it. But back to what I was saying about camaraderie. There's an award called Spirit of Drag Week, and so the Spirit of Drag Week essentially is helping each other out and making sure the people that are there with you in the week make it to the next track, making, you know, it truly just like this event that I can't describe. It's everybody helps everybody. You'll see somebody that is your competitor. You guys may be first and second, and the guy in first will help the guy in second because they don't want to win by letting their competitor sit on the side of the road. You could be driving down in the middle of nowhere 200 miles into your drive, and somebody's going to stop and help you, because that's just what it's about. It's about helping each other. So I love that aspect of it. So that's one reason people do it. The other reason is because it is the coolest feeling to drive your street car. Like, you know, in a lot of cases, these cars have, a lot of them have 1,000+ horsepower at this point. You know, some have way more, some have less, but typically you're driving really high, powerful cars, or really cool cars, whether they're powerful or not. You're driving them for 1,200 miles with your friends, and yeah, there's power to her, but you're adding in this mix of you're competing and you're driving down the road, and it's a great time. So Drag Week is unlike any other event. It's very unique in the people, the activities, I can't describe Drag Week. It's incredible. But you do it, you sound crazy for doing it, but it's the coolest thing ever. So moving on, we kind of know now what Drag Week is, a little bit about why people do it, and I'm sorry I am not doing a great job of explaining it. There's just a lot of emotions tied with Drag Week. But moving forward, looking at this year, there is so much cool stuff for you guys to see. I can't name it all because there's a lot. There's a lot of cars. So Drag Week's kind of funny. Like when I did 2013, which was my first year, I came back from Drag Week with just like this feeling of like, oh my gosh, this is like nothing I've ever seen. And there's been a couple years in there like that, like mixed in. But I think there's been kind of like stagnant years, so to say. Like last year was a really weird year, I felt like, personally. Other people might not agree, but me personally, I felt like 2017 was weird. Going into 2018 though, I am pumped about it. One, because hopefully I'm going to make it through the year, but two, because the amount of new cars coming in is really exciting. Like, there's truly going to be, like I mentioned earlier, like the biggest collection of cars that weren't running before 24 hours ago. That's going to be this year. Like, on Facebook, there is car after car after car after car. It's like, how is that going to make it to drag week? Like, you're so far away. But they're going to, you know, and they have that drive and motivation, and they're going to get there. They're going to be tired, but they're going to make it, and so I can't wait to see it. I think that this is going to be a really fresh year. Like, there's going to be, one, it's the biggest car count. By the way, Drag Week sells out in like 8 minutes. So if you want in, you got to have like a laptop, a computer, a tablet, you know, anything. You just got to be ready, a phone. It's crazy. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Tons of competitors this year. Really, a lot of new competitors, a lot of really, really interesting builds. So this is definitely something to follow this year. There's a couple places you can follow. One, if you want to see a little bit behind the scenes, you can watch my stories, my dad's stories, anyone else that you may know that's on the event. You can watch them. We'll try to keep posts going throughout the week, but like I said, it gets super busy, so it's kind of hard to keep everyone as up to date. But then afterwards, which it'll have a little bit of a lag, but you guys can watch the event, the behind the scenes on YouTube. We're going to do a recap. But if you want to see the live feed, Drag Week does do, Hot Rod Magazine does do a live feed. I don't have the link obviously right now, but I'll try to post that later. But you can watch the live feed, and it will keep you up to date while you're racing. You may lose some work productivity, but the option is there. So I'm being a bad Drag Week participant right now, and I don't remember all the tracks we're going to, but thanks to editing magic, right here is going to show all of the Drag Week event areas this year. So check those out. That's where we'll be at. If you guys are close, stop by and say hey. But anyway, Drag Week this year is going to be a really unique year, really exciting year. Hopefully this video was a little bit of informative, a little bit, you guys might have a better idea of what's going on, or a little bit of insight. But hopefully I make it through the week. Hopefully Dad does. Hopefully I have great stuff to share with you guys later. So until then, be happy, go fast, and stay pretty. I will see you guys next time. Oh, yeah. So a couple final thoughts. One, I didn't do a prep video because it's going to be essentially the same as the Rocky Mountain Race Week prep video. Link below for that. But anyways, Retro Nova's ready, Bad Mirror's ready. Tomorrow's going to be pack day, Friday. We leave Saturday. But for all of you out there that I know you were still working on your car, even though you won't see this till the event, I know you need the love, so good luck. Also, side note, I do have merchandise such as stickers and t-shirts available. Check out my website, www.alextaylorracing.com, to order from there. And one final thing, I can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, bye for now.